Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Pastrami Nation interview. We are Pastrami Nation. We are the meat of pop culture. My name is Nolan Smith, and joining me today, we have Kevin Hoskinson.
Hey, everybody.
And Rebecca Benson. And we have a very special guest today. He is the author of the new title from Mad Cave, Villainous. Please welcome Stonie Williams.
Ooh, Stonie. Hey,
thank you for joining us, sir. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. Now, let's talk about, well, first, how did you get started in the comic book business?
So for a few years, my best friend Aaron and I actually ran a podcast and blog reviewing comic books and comic book movies. We were, you're two average white guys with opinions, doing 3-hour podcasts on how much we hated Man of Steel. And but we reviewed comic books, and even after our podcast went by the wayside because you get busy and whatnot, I was still reviewing comic books and still had comic book companies approach me about reviewing their books, especially indie comic books. And that's how I came across Mad Cave, and they contacted me and said, hey, we're about to announce this new title and we'd like to know if you guys like to review our books. And that's how I found out about them, and then the talent hunt. And it was something that I considered doing, that I clearly wanted to do. And I talked my wife's ear off about it until she said, this is something you want to do. Quit talking about it and just do it. And so I did. And a couple of weeks later, I got an email. So
cool. So is Villainous your first comic?
It is my first comic book. I've written a few scripts before, a couple for myself and one for another talent hunt for Top Cow. Obviously, I didn't win that one. But this was my first comic book, and I lucked out, not only winning at all, but getting to do a 5-issue arc that's going to be in stores and across the country. And this is my first one.
Is there anything in particular that inspired you to write Villainous?
So in the beginning, Mad Cave brought a couple of ideas that they had that they wanted to do, and I always think it's funny thinking about it, because looking into getting into comic books before, I've always heard, don't do superheroes. The market is cornered. You're not going to make the next Spider-Man. You're not going to make the next Superman. You'll never have your stuff on a lunchbox, right? Don't do superheroes. But when they approached me, they had 2 or 3 ideas, and the idea for a comic book genre book just really struck a chord with me. I mean, growing up in the late 80s and early 90s, superheroes were everywhere. They were a part of my entire life. My mom worked in a comic book store when I was young, and so really comic books and superheroes were just everywhere. And so I thought that Mad Cave presented a really unique opportunity to take the genre and do anything we wanted to with it, make any kind of twists, any kind of changes, to take a satirical look at the things that we don't always love about superheroes and celebrate the things that we do. There were several things that happened throughout the series that I felt were really, really important to have in a superhero book. So it was important to me to add some of those little things that you look forward to with superhero books, as well as point out and really shine a spotlight on things you don't always love about superhero books.
Right. And I mean, that's the book right there, Villainous. Issue 1 just hit shelves not too long ago. It's phenomenal. It's excellent read.
Well, thank you so much. It's been out a week and a day, and I've actually got some really cool news to share with you guys. Nobody outside of the Mad Cave umbrella knows about this yet. They haven't announced on the official Twitter or anything, but I got permission from Mark London himself to share this with you guys. Villainous has officially sold out. We're going to go into a second.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Congrats.
I am over the moon. I can tell you, I have been so stressed out over how this book was going to be received and liked, and whether or not anybody was going to care, or even more important than everybody hating it, I was worried nobody's going to care, and it sold out. So
that is
ecstatic.
Wow, that is an amazing feat. I mean, because first comic out that you're doing, and like you said, it's a superhero book. It's a book, superheroes can be an overcrowded playground,
Yeah.
and you sold out. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, such great
awesome.
news.
Oh man! And following
Great.
Dryfoot. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to talk to Threadless guys and see if we can get a lunchbox. I asked about capes, and they don't make capes, but yeah.
How do they not make capes?
I know, right?
Lost opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, how did the creative team come together for this?
Awkwardly.
Like anything in life.
Yeah, right. So I was actually a last minute addition. There was only supposed to be 4 winners, and I submitted real late in the game. There was only like 2 weeks left when I submitted my stuff, and they went ahead and added me to it. And so I didn't have an artist to be paired with out of the talent hunt coming out of the gates. And the artist they did pick for me, there were some scheduling conflicts with, and that didn't work out. And Jeff Zielinski was actually fresh off of Show's End, and he did an incredible job. They knew they couldn't let him go, so they grabbed him up for my book. I actually don't know how Joanna got into the mix. Joanna LaFuente did the colors. Justin Birch does like 98% of the Mad Cave books. The dude's a machine. I mean, he's just not working for Mad Cave. I mean, he's everywhere. He's incredible. Yeah.
Very cool. It's a nice origin story there, you know. So I'm just glancing through it right now again. I mean, when you mentioned, you know, the letter and the colors and everything just comes together so well. I love the costume designs, and I was talking to Rebecca about this beforehand. I actually prefer the villains' costumes far more than I do, the heroes. They're just so iconic and so cool, you know.
Yeah, there were some things I wanted specific to some of the costumes, but Jeff really took any suggestions I had or any, sometimes I just let it go and was like, this would be a really cool place for you to really shine. And he did. He absolutely elevated this book with every panel he did, every design choice he made. I have actually got the last page of the last book as the background for my iPad because it's just that cool. Like, it is insane to me to see this and get so excited for it and go, did I write this? So yeah, I mean, Jeff's art is incredible, and it's one of those things. It's a book where his style is one where you could read it several times over and get something different out of it again and again and again. I had read it 2 or 3 times at one point, was reading through it again, and had to stop and go, wait, is he eating that guy in the background? He's eating that guy. So I mean, and then the characters, it was hilarious to talk to my kids about it in the first place. There's a shot of all the heroes together early on, and I had the script just reads, this would be a really cool place to showcase some other of the heroes, and that's all I said. I didn't make any suggestions, and so all of the background characters were all Jeff's idea. So my kids were reading it and going, wait, who is that? What is that person's story? I'm like, I have no idea. I didn't do that. But now my kids want spin-off of characters that I have no idea. We'll have to make something up because there's just some insanely cool designs in here.
It's a good problem to have.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's funny that you should mention that because that's actually one of my favorite parts because it's almost like those old radio shows. Like when the announcer just booms and just nails all the characters, their descriptions, and you can just go way back.
Absolutely, yeah.
Clever way. I really like that. Sorry, I'm glancing at it again.
No, you're fine. Villainous, there's a lot of parallels that can be drawn between Villainous and modern day teams and heroes, but a lot of what it means to be a superhero and superhero teams for me actually comes from a Malibu comic book called The Protectors. It was written by R.A. Jones, who worked at the comic book store my mom worked at when I was a kid. And so his were some of the first comic books I collected. And The Protectors was actually mostly public domain superheroes. And so for a lot of the inspiration for superheroes, I went way, way back for.
Okay.
So while there are similarities, and the boys gets brought up a lot.
You don't go far left on the rated R's. So
That's true. Yeah, that was one of the first questions I had for Mark when we started discussing this book was how many F-bombs am I allowed to use? That's
he was like half. And you're like,
yeah.
you can just say,
Right, yeah.
well, I mean, it's funny you bring up the boys because the thing that I felt the most like connection to from another property would have been the anime My Hero Academia, where very superhero centric, very sidekick centric, and it's a very good thing to be in the category of. But it's more of the lighter, positive note. And I gotta there's darkness in your book, but it's definitely not the boys kind of darkness.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's very much in the public eye right now with that TV show, so that's what it gets compared to a lot.
Right.
But I can think of numerous other things that it's more similar to. Not Mark London, Jay Sandlin, who wrote Over the Ropes, Hellfire Quinn, and he's got the new book from the Maverick imprint going on. He said it was like The Boys meets The Incredibles. Which I kind of really dig that comparison. Yeah, like I dig that. So sure, I'll take it.
There's definitely like that Disney Pixar flair in here, which is an amazing thing to have because you have such outstanding character designs and everything just feels so natural, and you gravitate towards our hero, who just got thrown to the wolves. Poor girl.
Yeah. Well, humor was very important to me. No matter how dark the book goes. Humor is very important, and I know he's problematic as hell, but Joss Whedon had a huge influence on anything creative that I've done. I mean, with Buffy and Angel, and as much drama and darkness as some of those things have, you still had that element of humor to everything, and that was really important to me to have for this. So
it shines through, absolutely. Sorry, I'm gonna scroll through because I remember there's some really funny parts in here to where even though we're like something like serious, like someone's gonna get killed, and then the expression on her face is like,
yeah, just expressions with Tilly just killed me. Like, and that's the one thing that comes up again and again and again is how much the people love her expressions, and there's just so much that can be done with the style that he's done with her, and you've got that naive and look and puppy dog eyes, and when she's exasperated, you feel it, and I can't wait for everybody to see more of this book and more of Tilly.
We absolutely can't wait. Can't wait to see like more of everything that has to do with this property. It's just so much fun. So many great designs in here. Yeah. Sorry,
and it's great too because we can also have Tilly for ourselves. Of course. Can you tell us a little bit more about Threadless and where we can find more Tilly?
Oh, the Threadless, right. So there's a Threadless store for Mad Cave, and they just released a Villainous collection. You get T-shirts, face masks, shoes, pillows, phone cases, notebooks, and they've got so many awesome designs stolen straight from the pages and Jeff's artwork. But then they've got some original stuff.
Like that one, right?
Yeah, these cutesy anime chibi versions of Tilly. They're incredible, and I love every single one of them. Yeah.
I love the original designs on here because we see a lot of comic publishers when they say like we have apparel. The apparel is just the cover,
right? Oh yeah, or the logo.
Yeah, and the cover is great, and so is the logo. The logo's an art form in itself, but I mean,
oh yeah.
If I can rock that, I'm gonna rock that.
Yeah.
So I mean, how can people find this Threadless store to pick up their merch?
The link itself. Let me read it off because I can never remember it. It's in my bookmarks folder is what it is. Threadless shop. Threadless /shop/ at Mad Cave Studios.
And there you go. And they have a lot of merch and apparel for not just Villainous, but a lot of the cool books that Mad Cave has. Check it out. There's Honor and Curse. I always say Honor and Curse is one of my favorite books, but Woven Heart's in there. I think I saw some Over the Ropes, Savage Bastards.
I think they've got something for just about every single. They just released some stuff for Hollywood Trash. I even think there's a couple of Midnight Task Force designs, which I don't think gets enough love. That was one of my favorite books.
It was really good.
I liked it, but
that was one of the first ones that got me into Mad Cave.
Yeah, and Battle Cats, of course. That's their big flagship. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Now, one of my things I was going to ask you is like, how has the reception been for number one? Well, you let us know that it did sell out, so the reception has obviously been pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But fan wise and creator wise, what have you heard? What have people been saying?
So far, it's been amazing. There's some things that even when people found stuff that didn't always work for them, they had something nice to say about the book. Like nobody's just out and out hated it. That's not true. There was one guy on Twitter who let me know everything he didn't like about the book. But
even in those 144 characters, wow.
It was several tweets.
There we go.
So, but nice feedback, stuff to work on, right? But other than that, it's been incredible. I mean, we haven't gotten a bad review. I haven't had. I've had people tweet at me just almost every day since it's come out, telling me how much they love the book, and I couldn't be more grateful to the people that read it, for people like you guys that review it, to Mad Cave. Like it's been such an incredible experience, and I feel so lucky to be a part of all of this and to be a part of this amazing creative team. Like I lucked out with these guys so much. I mean, Justin Birch is a phenomenal letterer, and Joanna's colors just really make it pop. And Jeff makes me look good. That's
oh, that's awesome.
Well, another great aspect too is Villainous really has a broad audience. Your younger readers can read it because it is okay. There aren't, there's nothing questionable.
It's not the boys. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's definitely something. I mean, this being my first comic book, I walked into it with the attitude of, what if this was my only comic book, right? Like there were things I felt like I had to do with this book. And one of them was it had to be something my kids could read. And so my hope is that I did something that not only my kids could read and enjoy, but that adults could enjoy it too. People that love superheroes will find something they love about it. People who don't love superheroes will find something that they love about it, is my hope. That was my goal here. And so far, it's gotten some really great reception. I think that I'm really, really freaking proud of this book.
Yeah, I think you're great. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it was really good, and I loved it because it did there's something for everybody, like you said. Like everyone can read it, everyone can find something to enjoy. And as I was reading it, like I know it's a superhero book, but it didn't feel like a typical superhero book. Like I didn't feel like I was just reading what I've read a million times. It was completely different while still having the superhero elements, and I thought that was really great. And also having like the main character, she's someone my daughter can relate to, which actually means a lot to me too, because it's there's a lot of that out there. It's getting better, but it's great to be able to share that with her. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. And I mean, my oldest and my youngest are girls. So again, that's was something that was really important to me. I wanted Tilly to be somebody that my girls could be excited about, but also somebody that anybody could project themselves onto and feel for. And I feel like even if my writing didn't do that, Jeff's artwork certainly did. So yeah,
I think it's definitely a team effort there. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say your writing did it just perfectly, and the artwork and all of it, man, spot on.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Now with issue 2, looming around the corner, and the issues to come, without spoiling anything, what can we expect?
You can probably expect to be mad at me for what I put Tilly through.
No.
I mean, because the first issue was bad enough. Gio, my editor, and I went back and forth over I can't believe we're going to do this to Tilly. But things don't get any easier for her. The next issues focus more on the villains themselves, so we'll get to learn more about the Shadow Order in issue 2. But Tilly is really the main focus throughout the whole thing, and I'm really excited for everybody to see her arc and what we put her through and how she handles it.
I can't wait to see her perseverance.
It's how we grow, right?
That's
so,
right.
That's super cool because I have confidence that she's going to overcome these challenges. But you're still pretty messed up for putting her through that.
Yeah.
No, but and that's also the mark of creating a good character, that you have that emotional attachment to it, that you're like, no, don't do that to her, even though she's a character on the 4-color page.
Right. Yeah. No, she's definitely somebody that Gio and I really came to care about, and who knows? Hopefully, if this continues to do well, we'll see more of her in the future. And I'd love to tell more, not just with these characters, but in this universe. Definitely have. I hope that I have given people a satisfying ending while still leaving enough threads to pull so that we can continue this if we wanted to. So
that's the way to do it.
Nice.
Because that way you have a nice complete story, though you still have room to grow if you choose.
Right. I like things that end. I don't like it when things just go on and on and on until they are well past the point they should have ended a long time
somebody
ago.
should have took this out the pasture. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I like to use the TV show House as an example a lot. Those last
I
few
used to
seasons
love
were
House.
rough. Yeah. I was like, this should have ended a long time ago, guys. And
I think I loved the first 3 years. They were super good.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And then you're just like,
mm-hmm. Yeah. So I definitely wanted a satisfying ending, but definitely leaving room for more stories to be told. So
that's fantastic. And issue 2 hits stores November. So please, everybody, make sure you visit your local comic shop. Tell them you want to put Villainous on your pulls, and if you're lucky, maybe you can get a hold of a #1 copy. It did sell out, in case you didn't hear. But
that's true.
Heard it right from the man himself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sir, where can people go to find more about you, more about Villainous? Where can we direct them on the internet?
So I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and ArtStation as Bald Bearded Bard. And so any of those places you can find me. I'm also usually the only Stonie just about anywhere you go.
That's how I found you on Twitter. You were the only Stonie.
Yeah. And Mad Cave Studios. Mad Cave Studios all across social media. Their website, madcavestudios.com, for all things Villainous. Mad Cave Studios.
Awesome. And of course, make sure you guys visit that threadless shop for Mad Cave, because there is some really amazing merch and apparel there just waiting for you to get for Christmas. I mean, for whatever, but holidays are right around the corner. So, well, Stonie, I really appreciate you joining us today. It's been a fantastic time chatting with you, and hopefully we can chat with you again as the story progresses, and that way we can all be mad at you for what you will put her through. So.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's been a blast, and I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, and congrats on everything again.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
And everybody, make sure you visit pastramination.com for news, reviews, and all that fun stuff. We're also on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, which keeps blowing up despite I cannot find why, but we are. So find us on there too. So signing off, this is Nolan Smith with Pastrami Nation. We are the meat of pop culture.